Hello and welcome to another video for Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that is very old, is incredibly collectible, and very, very difficult to find in this mint, unused condition, complete with the free badge. And this is quite a rare badge, which is the Tank Commander badge. There was a variety of different badges that came free with this magazine. So all different ones attached to the first issue of this magazine. And it was potluck what you actually got. Some were more popular than other ones. The Tank Commander was one of the rare ones in actual fact. But anyway, so we are looking at the very first issue of the Star-Lord, short-lived I should say, Star-Lord sci-fi comic. Now, when I say short-lived, I mean short-lived. It literally lasted for only 22 issues before it merged with its sister comic 2000 AD. So it ran from the 13th of May 78, which is what this issue is in front of us, to October, 7th of October 1978. It was not that popular, unfortunately. I mean, there was a lot of popularity at the time because of Star Wars. Star Wars had hit the screen. They had a big budget movie. There was the comics, the Star Wars comics, which was all done remarkably well. So a lot of the comic manufacturers wanted to get on the bandwagon, and they produced their own comics. Some of them achieved what they needed to achieve, and continued for some time. Others, sadly, didn't. So, and this was one of those that didn't. It lasted less than 6 months. Before it amalgamated into its sister comic 2000 AD. It did have a lasting effect though, because the comic strips, Strontium Dog as well as Roadbusters, they ran into 2000 AD and lasted for quite some time in that particular magazine or comic. Anyway, this is that very first issue of Star-Lord, and because it's a very short running comic, it didn't go on for very long. These comics are quite hard to find, and that's, I suppose, it's down to the popularity of the comic. Also, there wasn't a huge amount of them that was sold. So, what does it say? It says, here is the #1 Star-Lord, Strontium Dog, Planet of the Damned, Timequake. A new wild era of sci-fi starts here. With your free badge, and it's got 13th of May 78, 12p, on sale every Monday. And it says, watch the stars. Now, I'm just going to move that badge out of the way because I don't want to lose it. So I'm just going to pop that down. And we'll look at that in a moment. And it says, wear it and become a Star-Lord trooper. So that's talking about the badge. So that's the front cover. If I whiz the cover over the back, well, it's that's probably... Yeah, so that's the end of a story. So a story that's running from inside. So we'll have to come back. We'll come back to this when we're running through the comic, because that's going to be the last page. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to open it up and we're going to have a look at the contents. Okay, so I have opened the comic, and this is the first story we get to inside the front cover. It says, since 1945, more than 100 planes and ships and 1,000 men have mysteriously disappeared between Bermuda and Florida in an area of ocean known as the Bermuda Triangle. It says, Anita, 20,000-ton freighter, crew of 32, disappeared March 1973. MS Marine, Sulphur Queen, crew of 39, disappeared February the 2nd, 1963. Flight 19, 5 Grumman Avenger bombers disappeared December the 5th, 1945. PBM Martin Marina flying boat went to find Flight 19, disappeared December 5th, 1945. Examining these disappearances, scientists have suggested they somehow broke through the Earth's time-space continuum into another dimension and are lost to on another planet, a planet of no return, a planet of the damned. So that's his story. I mean, I think this is a fabulous story. Real good sci-fi about, and this is about a plane that goes through the Bermuda Triangle into another dimension. Again, it is very good artwork in this comic. The artwork was very, very good. As you can see, the drawings are fabulous. So that runs for 6 pages, and then it says next week it's acid rain or raining acid. So that's next week's. And then we come on to another great comic strip. This was called Timequake. And it said, the end of civilization or just the beginning of Timequake. A newsflash, 0714 GMT, 1st of May 1978, Paris Agency, IP. London, New York and Moscow hit by nuclear strikes. Stop. Further strikes expected within minutes. Stop. Catastrophe can be traced back to man believed called Kemal Aswan. Stop. And that's all about the Timequake. And again, you can see terrific colour artwork on this one. And it does go over to black and white on the page 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. And it says, next week, the drone here wiped out the future. Okay, on to the next page. And we've got Close Encounters of the Fourth and Fighting for Star-Lord. Hail, Star Troopers, welcome to your first Star Sign. I am Star-Lord. I have escaped the satanic forces of the Interstellar Federation, who cast their monstrous shadow across the entire universe to bring you a dire warning. Unless you embark on an immediate crash course in interstellar survival, this planet Earth will suffer the most catalytic catastrophe in its history. I cannot reveal to you yet the full extent of the danger that looms for Earth, but I have seen the Granks swarming to the star-spanned outer reaches of space, a sure sign of their intergalactic disaster. You must be on your guard. You must watch the stars. The enemy is massing to strike, but help is at hand. Star-Lord is your paper and your crash course in interstellar survival. Use my stellar strategic strats to prepare yourself. Strat, organise yourself into star squads. Strat, use my special star troop badges. Strat, patch in to my survival blueprints. There we are. There's Star-Lord survival blueprints up here, and Star-Lord Star Squad equipment. And this was all the badges that came with these the magazines. So we've got the tank commander on this one, but you had the pilot, you had the laser shooter, the time warden. Was that one? The robot president and the skateboard strike force. There we are. Okay, and then on to the next story which is a Strontium Dog, and that again was one of the long-running comic strips that moved into 2000 AD. Again, at first double pages in colour before it goes on to black and white. But again, great artwork. And that's 5 pages long. It says, in Star-Lord next week, the sensational free gift, which is the space calculator. So be on the lookout for that. And then we move on again, Day of the Robot. Again, that's about a robot. Again, the artwork in this magazine was great. But here we go on to Roadbusters, and again, another long-running comic strip that went into 2000 AD. Again, the artwork is just absolutely out of this world on those colour strips. And then it goes into black and white, but still the artwork is absolutely fabulous. I mean, you're thinking, this is 1978, it's a long time ago, but the artwork is so good. And there we are. So this story runs to an end on the back page. So it does finish in colour. And it says, next week, and then my head came off. So there we have it. That is the Star-Lord comic. And let's have another look at have a look now at the free badge. So it is a sticky badge. And it has been stuck onto the comic there, but the stickiness on the tape has come away. But basically, it peels off at the back there. So you pull this side off, and then you can peel the badge off, and the badge then will you stick onto your clothing or your jacket or what have you, because you are now a Star-Lord tank commander, as this badge indicates. Okay, so question is, I hear you asking, how well did these do? Well, I gotta say, I think this comic was fabulous. I think the artwork was great. The content was very, very good. It was all sci-fi based. It was spectacular in my eyes. However, it didn't do tremendously well. It ran, as I say, that's the reason why it only ran for 22 issues before it moved into 2000 AD. 2000 AD had been running for quite some time. And because of the success of Star Wars, there was a lot more sci-fi comics that were produced in the hope that one of them would hit it big and be like Star Wars. Sadly, that didn't happen, not for this one anyway, and it ended up fading away. 22 issues went into 2000 AD. Good thing though is that some of the stories survived, and they continued in 2000 AD for quite some time. Okay, let's move forward. What are we going? We're moving forward 47 years to 2025, which is where we are today. Do these comics come up very often on the platforms? And the answer to that is no, not really. You may see the odd one come up on the platform. I did look at the platforms, and I saw, I think, 2 or 3 over the last couple of years that appeared on the platforms, and I think there was only 1 or maybe 2 of them that had the actual free badge with them, and obviously they're demanding a huge amount of money. I can't remember what the condition of the comic was like, but they wasn't being advertised as new. They were advertised as used. I think one of them said there was tears in it and creases on one of them. I can't remember what the other one said. So back to the point, if you're buying on the platform, do have a very, very good read of what you're actually about to order, because they're obviously going to be in various different types of condition after 47 years since this comic was produced. However, the one we're actually looking at today is a unsold shop stock. It was all part of a comic bookshop that closed down about 5 years ago. It was just after COVID, and we were fortunate enough to be able to go in and buy out all their stock. And amongst a lot of the comics, there was a whole batch of comics in the stock room from times past that didn't sell, and this was amongst those ones in the back room. So it was as good as you would ever find it in a if you went into a shop on the 13th of May 1978 and you went to buy this is almost the condition that you would have got it brand spanking new back in 1978. It is that good condition, almost new, I would say, and very, very dear. We've only got the 1 copy, and obviously you can see that because of the condition. We're not going to have a second one of these. It is practically mint. Okay, so finding them like this is almost impossible, but we have done it, and this particular comic is, as of today, available on the MyStouch website. Now, on the MyStouch website, we do not use stock images. What you actually see in front of you today is the image that you will be seeing on our website, and this particular comic is available to purchase, and you can get to the MyStouch website very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight there, where you'll be able to find this and many, many other vintage comics and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody. And I am absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you are looking for, something old that you're never able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular comic. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful #1 issue of Star-Lord comic. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.